They're sitting on a couch. It's usually just two characters or sometimes three characters. And they're always talking and sitting. Just sitting in a chair. The pacing sucks. There's no style to anything. It's so boring.
From the concrete shores of Arlington, Texas, this is the Approximate Podcast with your hosts, Jamie French and Orion Quest. Hey there, my name is Jamie French, and you're listening to the Approximate Podcast with my co-hosts, Orion Quest and Diva. On today's show, we're going to be talking about guilty pleasures and books we like to read. But we start the show off by goofing on Morrissey for no discernible reason whatsoever. Check it out.
It is. This heat outside is freaking ridiculous too. I can't do the whole 112 degrees thing. Like that's
it's too late for that. You've already did it for the last 10 years. It's been like this every other year.
This is not your first rodeo in Texas.
Yeah.
I just know to stay inside.
Yeah.
If there's not air conditioning, I'm not interested because too much.
They only come out at night mostly. Mostly.
I remember trying to be goth in the summertime. That was the worst. Oh my god.
Goth in the summertime in Texas. That's
full face of makeup, all black clothes.
It was
just
a black mold. It looked like black chocolate just running around. I'm yuck mouth because it's just all moving around like a big hill.
You're wearing your eyeliner on your neck.
I looked a lot like the girl from The Ring.
Oh my god.
Oh shit.
Is she okay? Is she okay under that shit? Disintegration was the greatest album ever.
Yes, it was. That one spoke to my heart.
Just
shit.
move to the beat like you know that it was over.
Give me some Morrissey.
Morrissey, oh my god.
Wait for it. Panic on the streets of London. Bang the DJ, hang 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 the DJ. What's the other one? And you go and you stand on your own, and you leave on your own, and you cry hard, and you want to die. I am human and I need to be loved.
God, no.
Just like everybody else does.
And you know what's weird? Mexican
The
people
fact that
love
we did that?
Morrissey.
Oh,
Mexican people, that's a thing?
They freaking love Morrissey. Like, it's bizarre.
Because he's El
Why?
Norte. That's why.
It's the hair.
It's definitely the hair. Definitely the hair. And I think they like the emotionalness of his music. I think that's what it is.
I would go out tonight, but I haven't got a stitch to wear. Ha 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 he. I'm going to die.
Let's never ever cover a Morrissey.
Never. But if we did, it would be this charming man because he's got this one like banshee like screaming it that's hilarious.
Spit hot fire. Was it? Give me a verse.
Spit hot. It's because Orion spit hot fire. I'm sorry, Wycliffe.
Isn't he like King of Haiti now? Like, I haven't heard.
King of Haiti?
Yeah.
Wycliffe is the king of Haiti.
Well, I haven't heard anything from him since he went over there to like save everyone from the earthquake. I don't know. Valid question.
I want you to meet my cabinet members, the Fugees. Oh my
shit.
gosh. Secretary of Defense, Lord Hill. So how many times we going to do this? One time. Jesus Christ.
So wrong.
2 times.
Oh, no.
Oh my. Beer, 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 beer. Oh, Jesus.
Holy Christ, man.
Holy.
That's fucking great.
That was good.
It's charming man. He's singing something. The last chorus before the main chorus is a downtown country boy who hasn't got his name. Please come back, return to me. So what happens is the voice goes, downtown country boy who's never lost his name, come back, return to me. Before it goes there, the thing that he says is that I haven't got a stitch to wear. Now I know where he pulls out this banshee style scream. So all you hear is this, I will go out tonight, but I haven't got a stitch to wear. Oh, this charming man. Ah! Like, what the fuck is that?
He's excited about it.
Did he hit it that downtown cut? Anyway.
Meth is a hell of a drug.
Yeah, it is.
What'd you think about that crap that I made?
Very, very spicy.
Very spicy.
Like, I would die if I ate any more of it.
Rock on.
Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished.
That's what that killed a guest, are you? Well, it's like, no, I was aiming for you, bitch. I was
No,
aiming for you.
It's Velveeta and Rotel and a can of Wolf Brand chili
And death.
and
Jalapenos.
onions, salsa, and Mexican rice.
Okay.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
All mixed
A little
together.
bit of everything.
Little bit
Yeah,
of
I'm so
everything.
sold.
It's designed to hurt you.
In jail, they call that a spread.
it's basically spread.
That's spread action right there.
Yes, it is. Oh, man. And you know what? That makes me feel guilty.
Really?
Cue the segue.
Oh, my goodness.
We're going to talk about guilty pleasures. That's the first segment of the show. And before we begin, I want to see what you guys think about the term guilty pleasures in general, because I have a certain way I feel about it. Usually when you hear people in interviews, whether it's a musician or a movie star, whatever, usually guilty pleasure is thrown out as like a softball interview question.
Yeah,
They'll bring it up just to like make conversation. It's an easy kind of
To
landing
tell you something
point.
that you don't know.
Yeah. And usually people will tell you, they'll just come right out and say it. Oh, well, I like this one Backstreet Boys song. Ah, ha, ha, ha. You know, guilty pleasure, whatever. Then you'll get people that say this. And this is what I have a problem with. And you tell me whether you guys agree or not. Every once in a while, you'll get what I refer to as a douchebag for saying, oh, well, I don't have any guilty pleasures. Anything I like is valid. So, like, why would I feel guilty about something I like? And that always struck me as, like, a really
Pretentious
kind of asshole-ish answer, because what it implies is that,
They're better than the people that have guilty pleasures.
well, it implies that their tastes can do no wrong, and that it's the kind of theory like, if everything's terrible, then nothing is, you know? And so they're like, well, if I like something that should be seen as bad, but I like it, then it did its job, so it's not bad. But I don't think that's fucking true at all. I think there are things that are objectively
Bad.
definitively bad. You can just say it's from a technical level. Say you got a favorite song that is it's just really all around shitty, but you choose to like it because maybe it's comes from a point of nostalgia, or maybe it
Like
comes
the Macarena.
Sure, like Macarena is a great example of a horrible song that you might like, but you have to admit that it would be a guilty pleasure because
You wouldn't tell people.
you shouldn't like that song. I think the really shitty thing about that kind of answer, where they say, I don't believe in guilty pleasures, everything I like is worthwhile, or else why would I like it, is because it excuses that person from nuance. It means that they are not thinking about what they like, and it's indicative of a person that has no self-doubt, and that's a really bad kind of person to be. If you live without any self-doubt or any regrets, that means your ego is so big.
But what about, like, if they're not wanting to give that information because they don't want to, like, have themselves, their actual real selves, exposed in any way as a celebrity. I mean, that's a thing. People
That's
do
a thing,
that.
and that's a monster. That's a horrible kind of person.
Yeah.
You only have a handful of years to live, about 70-something years, barring illness or getting hit by a bus. So your life will be better if you can be vulnerable from time to time. And if you think that your self-image is like how people see you on the outside equals your self-worth,
Oh, no way. No
then
way.
you're nothing. You're a monster person, and you don't deserve the things you got. So that's why I bring that up. What do you think about guilty pleasures? Are they real, or can you not feel guilty about anything that you like? Orion, I'll toss it to you.
Some people are just assholes, and they think that they're above the rules of normal people. They believe that they aren't capable of such feelings like guilt and remorse or shame. But make no mistake, they all have guilty pleasures, and just because they don't want to mention it doesn't mean they don't have them.
That's true.
They do. And the fact, right there, that's an oxymoron in itself, don't you think? The fact that you say that you have no guilty pleasure, isn't that a guilty pleasure?
In a way, it sort of is.
Yeah,
that's a good answer.
I just always picture someone like Sean Penn saying that, like, I don't have any guilty pleasures because I'm, a serious actor.
It really disappointed me because the reason
Yes,
the
he has
reason
a guilty
this,
pleasure. He has Shanghai Surprise. Yeah, he won't admit it.
But we all know what happened.
Yeah.
Well, he had guilty pleasures. He had Madonna.
the thing that really sucks is we a couple of podcasts ago we spoke about we were talking about favorite metal songs, and you brought up a couple tunes by Anthrax, which I went and actually listened to. It was, what was the name of the one that you named? It had kind of,
Who Cares Wins?
Yeah, I went and listened to that. Yeah, that is an okay song.
Of course.
But here's the thing. I love Anthrax. I really do. And what brought this about was I was watching a revised Behind the Music from VH1
God,
back when they were doing
Behind the
those.
Music. Oh my God.
Yeah. I think MTV had the rockumentaries and VH1 had the Behind the Music.
Correct.
Is that what it was?
Yes.
This was a VH1 Behind the Music, Anthrax, and it was like a second edition. Like they updated the info, and they got some more interviews. And of course, Scott Ian, rhythm guitarist, main guy for Anthrax, they were giving him some of those kind of softball questions, and one of them was about guilty pleasures. And it kind of broke my heart because he was one of those guys that said, he looked straight at the camera, sincere as hell, and said, well, I don't have any guilty pleasures. I'm not guilty. I don't feel guilty about anything that I like.
Well, then that means
and I was
you're
like,
a sociopath.
oh, man, dude, come on, really? That's why your band's always gonna be fucking third.
But that was his whole idea of metal coolness. Like, I'm so cool, I don't have to have normal guilty pleasures like regular people.
Yeah. So saying that, it sounds like we're more or less, the three of us in this room are kind of in agreement. Saying that, we're gonna go around. We're gonna start with you.
Okay.
And we're gonna work our way, I guess, clockwise from your right, counterclockwise. You start. Just name one. Name
those
one.
days that I will watch all the
Nice.
episodes of America's Next Top Model that they put on Bravo Network back to back. I'll sit there for 5 hours and watch that shit. It's horrible. It melts my brain. And Tyra's a human robot. But, I mean, I love it. I just, I have 4 pictures in my hands. In the next minute, there will be 3 girls that go on to be America's Next Top Model. Oh, I love it. And when she yelled at Tiffany, I mean, come on. That's the best thing ever.
Like,
I was rooting for you. America was rooting for you. It's hilarious. It's great.
But you know, it's a show for awful people.
Oh, yes. It's a show for awful people, starring awful people.
By awful people.
That is awful. Yes.
But you can take some pleasure in it, but know that it's...
Yes, I know that it's
See?
awful, and that's part of why
That's
I love it.
perfect. That's a great example.
But that's like camp and kitsch and all that sort of thing,
Oh, yeah.
It's something fun or good because it's awful, or is it awful? And that's the eternal question I always have.
Nice. I love it. Ryan, what do you got? What do you hate that you love?
Fucking porn.
Oh, please. Okay.
Porn.
You're opening a
the
porn doors box.
Hold on. Notice as I say that, my head hangs low.
The stuff that makes you feel sad after.
Okay.
Somebody had to say it.
Start slow. Ease your way into this. This is a heavy topic. What do you got?
Well,
it can't just be porn in general. That's not a guilty pleasure. That's
everybody
just,
look at porn.
That's just humans being human. What
makes it so?
What's the scary stuff?
Pleasure? Well, I believe that the average American male watches porn on average, maybe on a maximum, 14 hours a week.
Citation needed.
That's basically 2 hours a day.
I would say that's probably fairly accurate.
Okay,
yeah.
give or take maybe in the morning.
You think...
Give or take at the night. Okay, there are 24 hours in the day. My intake is 23 hours. That's what makes it a guilty pleasure.
You got like 20 tabs open on your window.
No. Seriously though, you go to work. You work what? 9 hours a day.
Right.
And so, are you telling me that when you get home, you don't have any gigs? We don't got practice. You're not playing. You're not doing any band shit. You're not running around to pawn shops or anything. You're saying that on a normal day, when you just have Orion time, when you get off work, is it porn from the moment you set your bag down to when you pass out? Is that what you're telling me?
No. It is
porn on your phone on the bus?
No, but I've thought about it.
Do you do phone porn?
Yes.
I can't do that.
I can't. I obviously, I guess my problem's not that bad. It's not that bad that I've got to have it with me all the time.
40% of my phone is
But
dicks.
that wouldn't be.
I mean,
that wouldn't be. But see, that wouldn't be a guilty pleasure. That would be an addiction, would it not?
I think a phone that's full of dicks, if you're into that thing,
Well,
I think having a
not...
stash of dicks on your phone, that's just basic. That's
That's
like daily
not my...
nutrition.
No,
Yeah.
I'm sorry for you, maybe.
And
that's not in my. I'm
That's
sorry.
Just a quick glance every now and then.
If you look in my Android, there is no dick cache. There's no place for that for me.
Hey, this is a rainbow room. We have all sorts of folks into
now,
all sorts of
you're
things.
telling me, Orion, that you've never been like stuck at someone's house middle of the night or over,
I have the latest technology. Believe me. If I want Pornhub on my phone, I can fucking get it. And I can say this before God and man. Not once, not ever have I ever had porn on that fucking phone.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
Wow. Yeah, you're a better man than I. I have some
that's
on my
because
phone.
I can't find the password. No, I'm just kidding. No, but on a real tip.
On a real
when
tip.
I get
1994.
Here you go. Fuck both of you. Thought I wasn't paying attention, bitches.
TLC flashback.
Perfect example is tonight after this podcast when I go home. My roommate is at work. Won't get home until late. I'll go home, take a shower, look at my desktop and say, "Scream all you want, bitch. Nobody's gonna hear you." And then I'm gonna find my favorite channels. Now that's funny. I don't care who you are. I'm gonna find my fucking channels and I'm gonna do my thing, and then I'm gonna wake up the next day because the alarm will go off.
Yeah.
Don't even. Give me that goddamn.
No, it's happening.
I'm gonna get up the next day. I'm gonna pull my arm from my thigh so I can hit the snooze on the alarm. Then I will then pull the alarm from my head. Then I will go to the shower
and cry silently.
Get the dirt off of me and go about my way
until
the next evening. Oh man, his hand's been on the trigger like DEFCON 5 for that motherfucker. But that's mine.
But
it's all
porn's
about
an
timing.
unavoidable
Horrible,
thing.
horrible timing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Porn's an unavoidable thing.
But okay, but
It's an unavoidable
so it's
thing for you.
now wait.
No.
It's a planned thing for
I
me.
read
And
a survey that said that 90% of kids that are 10 years old and have internet access in their homes have seen hardcore pornography at least once in the preceding year that they use the
That's
internet.
fine, but is it because they're going out and looking for it, or because
Some
they?
of them.
Yes.
10,
I'm just going based on what you say. I'm an analytical person. The statement that you said was it was unavoidable, meaning you tried to avoid it, but it happened.
Well, if you're
looking for it, then you're not.
If you go to
avoiding
the
it.
Pirate Bay, it's big old naked ladies and
What are
and
10-year-olds
titties.
doing on
But even
fucking
on the
torrent?
Pirate Bay, you
shit?
have to type in.
Wait,
big old
wait.
titties.
No, the advertisements on the side of the pages.
What? Wait, hold on.
That's
What
odd. It's
10-year-old is going to the Pirate Bay?
Someone that wants to download Britney Spears' new album.
A 10-year-old.
Yeah, 10-year-olds have cell phones.
Now I understand
and-
what you're saying. Is that all? Let's just say, doesn't matter who it is. If you were to go look on your computer right now at the Pirate Bay,
Mm-hmm.
you will see that there are porn sites and porn stuff on it. I get what you mean
That's
by unavoidable.
it's explicit.
It's explicit.
But what 10-year-old's on a fucking Pirate Bay?
A nerd.
Lots of 10-year-olds. I mean, they use cell phones, Twitter, they do all that stuff.
They're young. They're that. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's
they're that
scary.
young.
Oh, 10-year-olds, they ain't what they used to be.
No, they're
What
not.
they
Those
used to
kids
be.
these
It's not-
days
it's
are
not-
awful.
Used to be.
It's not our gang. It's the clique now. It's no more. It's
The
no more.
clique.
It's no more.
Oh, man.
Tell Spanky to go around. We need to save up some money. It's no. You need to text that motherfucker to come over with my shit.
Wow. So, to wrap yours up, the guilty pleasure of looking at porn for you is the fact that you do it so much. It's not the content.
It's not the content. No, it's the fact that I do so much of it. Watch
Is it
it.
the taboo ofness?
You know
isn't
what?
anything?
That's like a legitimate guilty porn because that's
Yeah.
real world guilt. That's not guilt because of the thing you like is inherently bad. He's guilty because of the way he approaches it.
Yeah.
So that's a true.
Yeah. By definition,
That's
a guilty pleasure is something that you do that
Capital
you
G.
know you're not supposed to
Capital
do.
G. That's
And you do it and enjoy it.
Like when I eat a whole box of Little Debbie's in one sitting like that?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. Knowing that the box said, bitch, two per serving. Knowing
Well,
that
they
it
were
says two per serving.
small.
But my thoughts exactly.
They're tiny. I mean, shit.
And as they roll me into the hospital, all I can say is, I couldn't have just one. Sweet Doritos. What do you want me to say?
As for me, yeah, I think I could easily say that I have no guilty pleasures. I kid. I've been trying to think about this for a week, and I have to apologize because this week has been a motherfucker for me. I've been getting like 3 hours of sleep a night. I've been spinning like 9 different plates that have nothing to do with this podcast, and I've been trying to think of pleasures that make me cringe as I enjoy them. And
There's not a TV show.
Oh,
or
no. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff I know I ought not like, but I take some sort of pleasure from. I think most of it would be music related. I find myself... cooties.
I'd like to
I
talk
kid.
about how I feel when you drink.
You have the nerve to sit there and tell us you can't think of one whatsoever. You bitch, you know you ain't supposed to have that here.
I have not one guilty. Not one that I can think of that's in my
The
head.
first step is admitting you have a problem.
That's the first step, though.
Yeah, I mean,
I know. It's
Excuse me,
man.
I ordered a Zima, not
Guilty-
emphysema.
Guilty. Hold on, let me take another drag here. Guilty. No, I can't think of one. Yeah. Thanks for pointing that out. That's absolutely true. Drinking and smoking, huge.
but you need them or you'll die.
Huge. I need them and then I'll die.
Yes, exactly.
I'll need them.
It's like a joke I heard one time.
No, that's a perfect guilty pleasure because I know it's horrible. I remember me when I was sober and clean back when I was 5.
What age is that? What age was that? Was that the age of reason?
Worst 5 minutes of my life.
No, man, I know. Smoking especially.
Oh my
Like,
God,
I've
yes.
actually cut down on the drinking. It used to be a bottle of liquor every day, and now I've cut down to a half a bottle of white wine if I feel I need it to kind of,
Loosen
it's
up.
really
Relax.
it really is self-medication.
Of
You know,
course.
I'm filling in for some sort of mental deficit
Yeah.
that I have. It may be I've never been officially diagnosed with anything, and I hate the idea of self-diagnosis because that's a look at me kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the amount I drink and knowing what it does for me, I'm not going to point fingers at myself. I'll simply say it hints maybe at depression, anxiety.
Well, I mean, and that's
Maybe.
normal in the world we live in. I mean,
Maybe.
come on.
You know, if I was gonna just say off the top of my head what I thought I was compensating for, I would say it was that. I always have a lot of things to do, and they always seem very insurmountable.
Mm-hmm.
And in a totally sober state, I feel like
It's
I
too much.
can't- It's too much. So I take a swig or two of something, and it shuts the self-doubt down and lets me carry on and just push forward.
That makes sense.
But it's bad because it's such a dopamine rush that you want to keep drinking to keep the good feeling happening. And, of course, the downside of that good feeling is everything that you're trying to accomplish, everything that you drunk the alcohol for,
Yeah.
dulls your senses when you go overboard and makes you start to do all those things you want to do.
And do them wrong.
And you
sloppy.
do them all wrong and sloppy, you know. And so it's a pleasure of mine that I definitely feel guilt over, but more so, it's the goddamn smoking.
Testify. I'm right there with you with the cigarettes. Oh my God.
I was hooked at an early age.
Yes.
I was hooked at 16. Hated them.
I
Hated the
beat
idea
you.
of them. Oh man, so sorry.
I was in 5th grade.
Jesus Christ. I had a best friend, and he was 2 years older than me, and he was a hero to me.
Of
He was the
course.
coolest guy, had the best looking girlfriends, drunk. He was 18, I was 16. He fucking played rock guitar, long hair. He's just a cool alpha motherfucker.
Yeah.
And I looked up to him, and he would, you know, when you're 18 and you're full of swagger, and you have, you know, you're kind of alpha-y, and you can like boss your friends around. You want to show how
Yeah.
cool you are. You're like, hey, man, I smoke. Come on, fucking smoke. Fucking man up. Smoke.
Yeah,
Smoke.
don't be a pussy.
Don't be a pussy. Come on, fucking smoke. It's good for you. Smoke. Put hair on your chest. And so I pushed it away, and I pushed it away. And I was the kind of kid that would like go and throw my parents' cigarettes away when they'd gone to bed. Like, I was vehemently against it. But, you know, 16, those hormones start kicking in.
Yes.
And you start wanting to be as somebody
And
in the eyes of your
rebel.
friend. And he stuck one in my mouth, and I hated it. I hated that first cigarette.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt cool.
There you go.
And it happened a few more times, and then he said to me, okay, we got you. Okay, it looks like you're handling the cigarette okay. You're not coughing. You're handled. We're hanging out. Everything's cool. Let's go get you your first pack of cigarettes. And he went out. The asshole bought me my first pack of cigarettes. and it fucking, that was good night, Irene.
Yep.
It was all downhill from there.
I've done the same thing myself. I mean, my friend taught me how to smoke, and I take that first inhale and start coughing and sweating and coughing. And I'm like, what are you trying to do? Kill me? And she's like, one cigarette at a time, honey. Take it slow, one cigarette at a time. And I want to quit. It's
So
gross.
the answer was yes. She was trying to kill you.
Yes.
One cigarette at a time.
Yes, she was. She was horrible, but she was still my friend. But, I mean, they're horrible. They're gross. They're expensive. I mean, my old man complains about it. Like, it's not something that's easy or accepted anymore. You always have to go outside. Like, all of that. And yet, I still do it. It's crazy.
Whew. Man, okay, good session, y'all. That felt really good.
At least we're talking about our feelings.
I think we made some positive steps forward. Diva and I can gab about anything. So pick off the list a subject that you want
That
to.
speaks to you.
Yeah, that speaks to you.
I'm thinking. Back here in the days in the old 57 there was a guy named Rick. This is your mission. Should you choose to accept it?
You motherfucker.
I got a box full of them sons of bitches.
This is your subject. Should you choose to accept it? Pick a
Yes.
fucking thing.
Let's do some books.
Okay, let's
that's
talk
actually
about
what I
books.
was thinking.
You motherfucker.
They were like, wait for it. He's gonna say, I'm on top of it. I'm on top of it.
Jesse, start us off with a book because you read.
I read a lot, actually. I mean, and more than just like picture books and Dr. Seuss and those kind of things. Like I
The
read.
last one was a pop-up.
Yes, it was wonderful. No, my favorite book for like when I'm feeling like things are bad and I need to read something that makes me like appreciate my life and all that kind of stuff. It's called Life and Death in Shanghai. And I forget the lady's name. I can Google it. You can Google it if you want to. And it's about this lady who grew up in the Cultural Revolution in China with Chairman Mao and all that.
Yeah.
And they like literally put her in prison for 4 years, and then they put her in a concrete box with no windows and no light. And they put her in that box for years. Like, she almost died in that box. And the whole book is her writing about her experience through the prison and the box and all this stuff, and how she ends up a normal person at the end of it and all of that. And I always read that book and think, you know, that woman's been through some really horrible stuff, and she still ended up okay. So I can go through anything that I have to go through, and I'm going to be just fine.
Well, fucking A. Is that primarily why you read the books?
Yeah,
It's like self-help through not self-help books?
people triumphing over adversity, whether it's a celebrity or a regular person or whoever, in a book, in a novel or a biography, I just always find that totally compelling because everyone does it differently.
Stories of personal struggle.
Yes.
Huh, okay.
And even when the struggle destroys that person, it's still interesting to read about
Somebody
their
else's
experience.
misery, I totally get it.
Yes. Schnappenfraud, I think, is what the Germans call it.
I never said I wasn't a monster. Orion, what do you read? The Captain Marvel.
Actually, no. Right now I'm working on a book called The Masked Rider by Neil Peart.
Is it fiction?
No, it's actually his bike travels in Africa.
Ooh.
Normally he rides a motorcycle throughout the states, but he decided that he was going to do an adventure bicycle tour over some of the areas in Africa. And
So it's a bicycle?
yeah, it's literally a bicycle.
Awesome.
Him and about a group of 6 other people decide to ride from town to town and go on sorts of adventures. And it's a pretty good book, actually.
That sounds really compelling, like all the different people and the
And
places they're
places.
going.
Are you reading that primarily because it's written by your hero in music? Neil Peart. I mean, everybody
Yeah.
knows Neil Peart's one of the world's best drummers, drummer for Rush. Did you pick it up because he wrote it, or?
Yes, I found that not only is he the percussionist and lyricist, but he's also quite a good writer.
Huh.
And he's written about three different books regarding
Really?
his adventures. The last one I believe was I want to say Across the Lighted Stage, which is actually the companion to the DVD that came out. No, I'm sorry, it's called Roadshow. It's called Roadshow, and it talks about him traveling by motorcycle as well as Rush touring. I think it was the R32.
Ooh.
Haven't got that yet, but I'm going to go pick it up.
That sounds good, too.
The last book I read, I think was a book by, I can't remember the guy's first name. Burgess, I want to say his last name is. It's a book called Running with Scissors.
Oh,
Okay.
I've read that book.
Yeah, my mom gave that to me for my birthday.
Sedaris, that's his last name, Sedaris.
Oh, okay. Then I have the last name completely wrong. But I'll put links to all the books that you guys have said.
Okay.
I'll put it in links on the SoundCloud and the YouTube. But I remember my mom gave me that book for my birthday at, I want to say 22, maybe 23. And I don't I don't know why she thought that I'd be interested in the book, because I remember the book being really, really seedy. It was, if I remember correctly, it was a story about a kid that went through all sorts of trials and tribulations as an orphan. I probably am remembering this totally wrong.
Wasn't he gay as well?
And he was. My mom gave me this book at the time when I knew you.
Okay.
And she gave me this book, and it was about this kid that grew up discovering his homosexuality through the most seedy means possible. And the book was written in like a really grimy fashion. And when I got done reading it, I asked my mom, I said, Mom, this book was,
why?
It was interesting, but why did you think I needed it? Did you think,
that I was out there doing that kind of stuff?
Yeah. Are you reading me wrong? Am I not communicating with you properly? Which I wasn't. I was 22 and probably at the height of me being an asshole.
You were going through some stuff, though.
Oh, yeah. I was, oh, God. Orion knows. I was a really shitty person. And you can never see yourself from the outside. So my fuck you. So, in gently.
Friendship.
Hit it, Brett.
Oh, I gotta edit that out. That's not our bit.
I know, but somebody had to say something.
But I asked my mom, you can't see yourself from the outside looking in at any age, but especially when you're that young. So she saw something in me that was as grimy and nasty as I now see myself looking back. And she gave me that book thinking that it might speak to me and that it might make me think of myself in a different way so we could relate to each other, that we could find common ground. But it didn't have that effect on me. It just made me think, oh, Mom, you got me pegged all wrong, if that's what you think.
What if your mom was thinking that, it was more like, I'm giving you this book, and it's about all these things. I'm worried you might be doing some of these things, but regardless of any of that, I still love you, and it's okay to talk to me about these things. I gave you a book, that kind of thing.
That's always been my mom. That's in her nature. My fucking mom loves me like her firstborn, which I am. Through as shitty as I was in my early 20s and as weird as my career has gone in my adult life, my mom has never flinched.
Well, that's
she's
wonderful.
Always been supportive, and she's always tried to understand. And I really am my mother's kid. We have the same brain. There's not much, and in my older age, we communicate like motherfuckers. But she's never turned her back on me, and she's always kind of had me figured out, and she's always given me a little leeway. Well, when she gave me the book at that time, I don't know, it just seemed odd to me because maybe I wasn't in the right mental place to match her possible concern.
I could see that.
Or maybe I have it all wrong. Maybe she was just, hey, I thought this was a cool piece of fucking literature. You're a smart kid.
It was a
You'll
popular
like this.
book. It was a popular book.
So anyway, that was the last book I read, and at 22, that's years and years ago. Which is not to say I don't read. All of my reading occurs online.
Yeah.
And I read voraciously. I think that's the second time I used that word tonight. I should find a little. This is the. How many times have you used a vocabulary word in a single podcast?
No, a duck is supposed to fall down with like a check.
Nobody's going to get that reference.
Yeah, nobody's going to get that.
We need a counter on the bottom of the screen to just click off.
You're right. But I tell you what, some of the best reading I've ever had, and I recommend anybody that's listening to this podcast to, as soon as you're done listening to this, click over and go check out crack.com.
Yes. Love them.
You know what? I'm not even going to say a whole bunch about that. Just trust me on my word. Go to crack.com, and if you give a shit about thinking
or learning,
and you also want to have a bit of a laugh, and you want to see some really amazing video content that's not pandering and doesn't play to the lowest common denominator and has some really intelligent and smart things to say about culture, pop culture, human psychology, life. Go check out crack.com. There's so much in store for you there. You can kill hours and hours reading. And kill's the wrong word, because that implies that you're wasting time. You're never wasting time when you're on crack.com. But you'll still get
entertained.
You'll still get all your laughs in. So it's the perfect double-edged sword. Crack.com. That's my suggested reading material. And in saying that, looks like we have a show, guys. So
Yay!
Let's go ahead and wrap it up. I'm going to say a few things here, and then we may have a word from Orion. I don't know. So what we have is the what we call the burner line. And you can basically reach our show. Call at 817-673-3704. You can leave a text message or a voicemail, whatever you want. Let us know what you think about what you heard, and give us your opinions and your thoughts, and we will ignore them and forget that you ever said anything, because we respect you, but not as much as
we respect ourselves,
our wine and our cigarettes.
Yes. Addiction.
Again, I kid.
Yes, of course. It's all jokes, folks. It's all jokes.
Jokes. Yes. So let me give you that number again. 817-673-3704. That's our burner line. And yeah, give us a call. Let us know what you think. Leave us messages. Hit us up. That helps us make a better show and helps us give you a better listening experience, because we care. Orion, what? The Orion says...